vast region of Southeast Asia is engulfed by one of the worst environmental disasters in history. A massive, choking cloud of yellow smoke and dust blankets millions of square kilometers.
Looking out of my window, I just say, oh God, please help us.
Millions are forced to wear masks. Hospitals are overwhelmed. The deadly attacker is called the HAZE. The cause? Forest fires raging all over Indonesia.
The scale of the fires is enormous, around 10 million hectares.
A daring plan is conceived to send more than 1,000 Malaysian firemen to Indonesia to help extinguish the fires and bring an end to haze hell over Asia. At the beginning of July 1997, it's business as usual in the vibrant Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur. Its residents have no idea that slowly rolling towards them is a massive cloud of toxic smoke and dust, blanketing everything in its path. But soon, their world is under attack.
We woke up to something really unfamiliar and a bit shocking, and we soon realized it's everywhere.
The sky was just dark. We couldn't see the sun. And you cannot see buildings around you. You cannot see the trees, the green trees you cannot see around you anymore.
At 452 meters tall, the new Petronas Twin Towers, the tallest buildings in the world, are barely visible.
It's very depressing, to say the least, to find that you cannot see this great tower going up. There were times when I just couldn't see the top.
As the haze thickens, families are under siege. Many airports are forced to close across the region.
You were prisoners in your own home, you were prisoners in your own neighborhood, you were prisoners in your own car.
The road is not visible. We have to on our car headlights just to make sure that people know that the car is on the road.
For some, the haze turns breathing into a struggle.
The air, when I breathe in, it is like a burnt smell, and it's not just outside, it's just like everywhere you go.
Within days, Malaysia's hospitals are overwhelmed by thousands of new patients with respiratory problems. The haze preys on those most vulnerable.
During the haze, the people affected will be those two age groups, you can say. The young ones, why? Because the airway is not developed yet. The older people with some medical problems, they have lots of complications due to the haze.
The haze is not smog, but a huge aerial mass of dust and smoke. And swirling inside the vast cloud are billions of microscopic particles, so small that they can easily penetrate deep into our throats and lungs.
And whenever there's the haze, all this air pipe and the airways become inflamed.
Being a doctor myself, I know that it must have some effect on the health of people, especially people, asthmatics. They will find breathing quite difficult.
As the haze thickens, environmental officials anxiously monitor the deteriorating air quality around the clock. To get a precise idea of just how bad it is, they measure the API, the Air Pollution Index. These API figures tell you how contaminated the air is, and the higher the number, the worse the quality. That September, the API numbers hit record levels.
The air pollution index was going up, and it was never coming down. It was just going higher and higher and higher. We got a bit scared at that time, but we thought that, oh please, you had to stop somewhere. But it went on and on and on until we reached a hazardous level.
Instead of waking up and having your coffee and reading your papers, you wake up to check the air quality index.
The Malaysian state of Sarawak in East Malaysia is the worst hit. and API numbers hit unprecedented levels. In many parts of the state, visibility is reduced to a meter or less. Faced with this escalation of the catastrophe, the Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir, declares a state of emergency in Sarawak. Within a week, over 10,000 people seek treatment for HAZE-related complaints. All over the state, schools, government offices, and shops are closed. Construction and industry grind to a halt.
We had to declare an emergency. We had to warn people because we really found it so difficult to deal with the situation.
With a state of emergency declared in East Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir's government is under intense pressure to do something to rid the nation of HAZE.
The biggest challenge, of course, is to try and deal with the HAZE as quickly as possible.
All over the country, the government tries all kinds of desperate remedies, even trying to hose down the HAZE. The problem is that the entire region of Southeast Asia has been hit by severe drought, and there's simply not enough water. What makes the attack even more frightening is that no one is quite sure what is causing the HAZE.
I was like, oh my God, it's like, it reminds me of a Hollywood movie, like Doomsday is coming.
We were like fish in the aquarium looking out, you know, and the glass was a little bit blurred, and there's this wall of thing in front of you.
Even the environmental experts are baffled.
The public at that time were kind of not sure what was happening. And we were looking for answers ourselves because we don't really know at that time what was the cause of problem.
It's only when Deputy Director General of the Department of Environment in Malaysia, Dato Rosnani, gets access to data from weather satellites orbiting 500 miles above the Earth that she gets an answer. The satellite images reveal for the first time the astonishing size of the HAZE cloud and where it originates. Enormous regions of Indonesia are covered by telltale hotspots. These hotspots are forest fires and are concentrated in Sumatra and Former program director of WWF Indonesia, Fitrian Ardianshaw, experienced the HAZE firsthand on the ground.
If you went to the island of Sumatra or Kalimantan, it was just unreal. You couldn't imagine it could happen in countries like Indonesia.
There can be no doubt that these raging fires are the cause of the HAZE. The discovery that the fires originate in Indonesia puts national leader Suharto under intense pressure.
It was tremendously bad for Suharto.
On the 16th of September, he makes a public apology.
Kepada masyarakat negara-negara tetangga yang terganggu karena kebakaran di wilayah kami itu, Indonesia minta maaf yang sebesar-besarnya.
But Suharto's apology brings little relief to the people suffering the HAZE, and Indonesian firefighters are stretched to the limit.
The Indonesian government tried to extinguish the fire with firefighting team as well as water bombing, but you can't just do suppressions of fire when it has happened in a really massive scale.
It was very frustrating because it is not something that you can sweep away. All we can hope for is that the burning would stop and the wind might blow the haze away.
The Indonesian government is overwhelmed with the massive scale of the fires and has no choice but to seek help from outside.
In emergency situations, they would be happy to get any support they can get.
Following Indonesia's courageous decision to request international assistance, one of Malaysia's top firemen steps forward with a radical proposal.
Mahathir says, well, this haze is really bad. We cannot be seen doing nothing. And I said, sir, the only way we can control this haze is to eliminate the source, and that is to extinguish the fire. And the only way to do it is we go to Indonesia.
To begin with, the Prime Minister is skeptical.
Putting out fires in forests is a very difficult thing, and we were really not quite prepared for that.
But Dato' So convinces the Prime Minister and his cabinet to give his plan the green light. As an experienced firefighter, Dato' So knows that he cannot afford to waste any time. So he gives his team a deadline of 48 hours to find 1,200 volunteer firefighters, supplies, and equipment. No one has attempted to move such a large force of firefighters across a national border ever in history. Millions afflicted by the haze hope desperately that he will succeed. September 1997, a vast region of Southeast Asia and beyond is under attack from the haze. This massive cloud of smoke and dust is caused by fires raging deep within the forests of Indonesia. In Sumatra and Kalimantan, vast areas of land have been logged for new development. All over Indonesia, local farmers have used burning as a way to clear small areas of land for planting crops.
For centuries, Indonesian farmers have been doing what's so-called shifting cultivations, slash and burn. For them, there was no other option than they clear the land using fires.
But by the early 1990s, big logging and plantation companies moved in, using these same methods as the cheapest way to clear their land. And the impact is disastrous.
When they started using fires in a really massive scale, it was hard to control. 10 million hectares are enormous. The capacity of the Indonesian firefighters at that time, of course, was not sufficient.
This uncontrolled inferno generates an enormous haze cloud that blankets millions of square kilometers of Southeast Asia. One of the worst affected nations is Malaysia. Fire Chief Dato' So Chai Hak has proposed a daring plan to Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir to send Malaysian firefighters to Indonesia to put out the fires.
Speed is the essence of fire control. In fact, 48 hours is already too long. It has been burning for too long.
So Dato' So gives his team just 48 hours to prepare their mission. It's called Operation HAZE. No one has attempted to move such a large force of firefighters across a national border in history, let alone assemble them within such a short period of time. Dato' So will direct the Bomba team from Kuala Lumpur. Tuan Muhammad Hamdan bin Abdul Wahid has the task of leading the men on the ground.
To lead 1,200 is a big task. I thought to myself, is it possible for me to mobilize such numbers of firefighters during that short period of time?
All over Malaysia, volunteer firemen step forward for the mission. There's little time to prepare or say goodbye.
If those cannot come along, leave them behind, replace.
It's especially painful for fireman Mahendran, soon to become a new father.
The first time I received a call from one of my colleagues saying that I'm instructed to go to Indonesia. I said, of course, I'm ready to go. And then the second question he asked me, what about your family? Because my wife was almost 6 or 7 months pregnant. But to me, duty comes first.
On the 23rd of September, over 1,200 Bomba volunteers from every Malaysian state converge on Port Klang, where 3 Navy ships are being readied for immediate departure to Indonesia. 2 warships will take the Bomba teams across the Straits of Malacca to Sumatra. Another team is assigned to Kalimantan.
So everybody was sending us off with one kind of silent goodbye, most probably hoping that this will be the people that save us from this kind of catastrophe.
At 2,200 hours,